Hello, Stan here. Are you using Pinterest for business? If you were like me, you would flood your Pinterest because you had only a specific time to put pins together. And then for the rest of the week, I wasn't able to get to it, right? If you're like me, you had this problem. So there would be some weeks where I had lots of pins and I probably drove people crazy. And then other times they wouldn't hear anything from me. Well, I found a tool that has helped me out. It's called Tailwind. And I want to show you that tool because it has entirely changed how I do pinning. I've only been using it for about a week now. There's a few things that I still need to do, but right now I am very happy with what it does. And let me just show you how that all works. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. And let's see if I can get this right. I tried this presentation earlier. And present to everyone. And hopefully we're seeing this, but I want to verify. And let me see. Nope, I'm not able to see that. Hold on one second, folks. Let me share my screen again. Let's try this differently. And present to everyone. And ideally, we'll see this come up. Okay, on to Tailwind. So, well, that wasn't as smooth as I wanted, but that's okay. We're here. We're talking about Tailwind. Let me beef this up a little bit. And so here's what we have. If you go to Tailwind, you'll see the main dashboard. This is the first screen you normally get to. Shows you how many repins that you've had, your domain pins. As I mentioned, this is one of the things that I haven't done. I haven't tied it to my blog, but I will get to that. And ideally, that'll start working properly here in the next few days. And if you have any additional followers, so this will, immediately it tells you if you're moving in the right direction or not. So Publish is one of the areas that you're going to spend a lot of time in. So you have drafts, and in drafts, I don't have anything right now, but what it will do is it will offer you suggestions based on its understanding of your boards, or you can go ahead and upload things that you want to go push into Instagram or go ahead and put into Pinterest. You can do it directly also from here. But as you go through the boards, you have the ability to add something directly from here if you want to. It's not something that I normally do. So I don't normally have any drafts. I immediately just do what I need to do, get them into scheduled. But while we're in drafts, over on the right-hand side, this is where your schedule is. And so you can see that I have some pins lined up for the next week or so. And this is a lot better than what I was doing. I probably would have done most of those pins in one day and then have nothing for a couple weeks. And so now I could trickle those out at different time periods. So this one will go out at 10:14. This one will go out at 10:30. This one is tomorrow at 11:30. So these will go out at random times that you have basically set up in your schedule and be able to push these things out. So that is so that's where we have in drafts. Okay, scheduled is where all the good things happen. And I only go into schedule after I've got done pinning and I want to reorganize things. But immediately when you go into scheduled, you'll see what pins you have scheduled. So here at 10:12 this evening, I have this new dip that is going to go into my food ideas, and I'm going to have that pinned. I have the ability to go ahead and make edits to it here if I wish to. I can also decide if I want to send this pin to Facebook or Twitter. So I can do that immediately from here. I can send it back to draft if I want to, or I can pin it right away, and if I don't like it, I can delete it. So I have lots of options just from the scheduled screen, and it will list all the pins that I have going coming up in the next week. On the right-hand side, you also have your schedule, and you can move things around here. So if I want this post to go right in this time slot, I just drag it and drop it, and then everything kind of moves around accordingly. I can also lock post into position. So if I want to keep that one right there, I can lock it, and then if I try to change something there, I can't do it. It won't allow me to do it. But I can take a locked post and move it somewhere else if I want to. So I can move these things around as necessary. And I can always unlock it. So how that works for me is I may be focusing on, say, books for entrepreneurs. And I'll go in and post, a couple dozen books. And then I want to post some books dealing with Evernote or Scrivener or another topic of interest. But what will happen is if I'm focusing on one, all these, for example, all these books could be those entrepreneurial books. And then right below it, I can have those Evernote books. Well, I may not want to release them that way. So once I get done putting all the pins that I want in there for that batch session that I'm doing, I can go ahead and then start moving some pins around to get them to have a little more variety as I push them out. So this is quite useful, coming back to this screen and seeing how everything is laid out and be able to reorganize it. The next screen is, let me scroll up to the top here, is published. And so this is, showing what I've published in the last so many days. And this starts at May 4th and the 28th. And so here it'll give me a list of all the pins that were published, and I can look at them. I can do a filter by boards. I can look at a specific, by a certain category if I want, or I can also filter it by a specific board if I need to. But it'll show me the boards. I can look at, the image of the pin that I have. I can order it by the number of repins, so it will, put it in that order. If I have any likes, any comments, the date that it was pinned. So here, if I click on this, it will show me the last pin that I have. And this, of course, goes down further and further and further. So it shows me all the pins that I had within that period of time. Right now, it's showing 100 or 1 to 50 out of 94 pins. I can also reschedule this pin if I wish to. So if I want to put it into a different board, if I want to put it maybe in the same board, but this is weeks later or something that I want to kind of keep going, maybe it's part of a campaign, I can do that. And then there's also this button to find similar content. So if this pin happens to be doing really well, so this particular pin, I can find other content that's similar. And if I click on that, it'll find ideally similar things. Okay, but I don't find anything that I like. So those are drafts, scheduled, and published. Like I said, drafts I don't spend a lot of time in. I normally just schedule them and move on. But published, every once in a while, I just want to see if anything's getting repinned that I put out there. Schedule. So schedule is important because this shows the times where that you're going to pin, right? So these are the time slots, and I can go ahead and adjust them if I want to. So if I want to put something at 9:42 a.m., I can update that particular time slot. Pinterest also suggests when you should add pins. So if I add a new pin slot at 9:44 p.m., I can click on that and it'll add it to my schedule. And there's also additional time slots that are here. So I look to try to keep them a little bit balanced, and I can add particular slots at that time. The interesting thing is when I go back to my scheduled pins, you can see I have those empty time slots now. Well, one of the nice things about this is I can go ahead and fill in those time slots. So it will push everything up. So right now I have one of my favorite albums is Let It Be. It will move it into that particular time slot. And here is a new sushi, braided cucumber sushi. It'll move it up into that time slot. And it'll kind of push everything up. So right now I have everything scheduled to the 5th. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to fill in the time slots. And it'll ask me, yes, I wish to do that. And so it's gone through and moved everything up and made things back into order. So this is really useful as you keep expanding to be able to fill in those slots. Borderless. This allows you to combine or group a set of boards. So it makes it easier if you have, maybe a board dealing with holidays and another one with Halloween and another one, with haunted houses. You can combine them all together under Halloween theme. And when you go ahead to schedule a pin, you can use that particular theme. And then it's easier to add or delete boards from that point. I haven't set anything up yet, but something that I may look at in the future. Tailwind also allows you to pin to Instagram. So you can take images and push them to Instagram. Now, Instagram, because of their API, doesn't allow it to automatically pin, but you will get notified that you have a new pin to approve on Instagram. And so you can go ahead and just, it'll get everything set up, ready to go, and you just can go ahead and roll that pin out. But have, all your descriptions and all your hashtags, everything set, makes it a lot easier. I would show you monitoring your domain, but I don't have my domain set up, but this will give you some insights, how many pins, based on your domain and how that all ties together. So it's not something that I have set up yet, so I can't show that to you. However, tracking your brand page, you can see your performance and how well this is doing. As you can see, I've only been going for a little while, but during that period of time, I got 2 new followers. I picked up, I added 35 pins, got some repins, and a like. And it will also tell you how well you're doing, how viral your pins are. And I've set a new 30-day high of 0.3, which is very low right now. So things that I can work on. So this will, is the total of pins divided by the total repins divided by total pins. So, the idea is you want pins that get repinned all the time. And your engagement score deals with 1,000 followers, and I'm nowhere near that, so that's quite low too. And how well the engagement rate is. The other thing you can see is your board insights. So with your board insights, shows you which boards are doing well, which boards, you know, so it'll rank them based on, you know, whatever ranking that you want. It could be the, you know, total pins. So I have 717 pins in this one. It could be based on followers. So here's some, I have a group of people following this set of books here. The total repins, this particular board is doing quite well in repins, and you can see a higher virality score. And that happens to be the highest one. And then total engagement, and that's also for that particular board. So really gives you a great idea on where you stand in this. And then optimizing content. So you have your pin inspector. And so this will show me specific pins and how well that they're doing. And this looks at all your pins that you have, not just the ones that you've posted through Tailwind. So you can look at this and once again, finding similar content. So I can click on that and ideally it'll show me something similar, but right now that's kind of hit and miss. And once again, I can reorder them based on all these different, you know, headers here. So how does this work? So let's go pin something. So let me go to Social Media Examiner. They always have good stuff. Let's see if I can find something. Social media metrics. So say I like this particular page. What I want to do is I have the Tailwind Publisher extension on my Chrome browser. And so I would go ahead and click on that, and it will kind of do it like Pinterest does. It'll ask you which particular pin that you want to use. And let me see if I can find social media metrics. So I'm going to use the one that, you know, they recommend for this particular post. I can select multiple of these, but I just want this particular one. So I'm going to click that and go to schedule. And I have two accounts here. I have one that I'm using as a free trial. So I'm going to go to my free trial one. And it'll let you do 100 pins to see if you like it. So that's a great way to go and test this out and see if it works for you. After that, you have to purchase the subscription. And so now I can go ahead and search for my particular board. And I'm going to use social media for business. And I can go ahead and edit this description. I'm going to give a shout out to Tailwind app. So I'm going to click on that. Normally, it's entirely up to you if you want to do that. And maybe I'm going to also push it out to Twitter. The link is good. And so what I'm going to do is click on Add to Queue now. So it will go ahead and add this to the particular queue. And then it'll offer some other recommendations that I can look at and see if I want to pin anything from here. I don't, so I'm going to go ahead and close this. So now if I go back and I'm going to switch to that particular account, and let me go to scheduled pins, and I got 3 scheduled. So I have Pinterest for business, I have Pinterest for business, social media for business. So I have a couple pins there on Pinterest, and they are scheduled. So it's right in there, ready to go. And that is how easy it is to use Tailwind. So definitely try to check this out. So I have one failed pin. Uh-oh. So that was email for business. So I'm going to go ahead and re-queue this and see if I can get that to work. So it's pushed there, and as you can see, if something doesn't work, Tailwinds will let you know that also. So the other way to do this is from Pinterest itself. So let me go to Pinterest, or one of multiple ways. And so here I am in my Pinterest account, right? So Twitter tips to improve your Twitter marketing. So let me just explore this tip a little bit more and make sure this is a good link. It's from Social Media Examiner, so I'm very confident it's a good link, so I'm going to go with it. So let me show you a couple things. So first of all, on this pin right here, I can pin it or schedule it using the Tailwind icon. And if you noticed, when I went to this the Pinterest, it also had me a button there that I could schedule this. So I have two different ways right from here which I can schedule. And I'm just going to select this one. And once again, it will bring up the screen. It'll let me know what I want to do. So this is going to be Twitter for business because it's focusing on that. Once again, I will give a shout out to Tailwind and also to Twitter and add to my queue. Okay. It says you've already pinned from this page on one of your selected boards. Well, that's not good. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and delete this pin and confirm. So I've gotten rid of that. Let me find another pin. Social Media Examiner, once again, I will go ahead and schedule this particular pin. And this is dealing with Google Analytics, so I'm going to put that back into social media for business and do a shout out. So do I have any warnings? Nope, no warnings, all good to go. And I'm going to add that to the queue. So here I am looking through my Pinterest board, and I found some, different pins that I think are useful, and I've gone ahead and scheduled those and got them, basically all ready. So that's a way that you can push it out too. So, and let me refresh that, and we will see that particular pin is there. And let me just push that up a little higher there, give some variety. So we'll get that all pushed out. So I have 5 pins. They're all going to go out today. And as you can see, I've got a little work to do in this particular one. So that is that's a little bit about Tailwind and why I like it. And I think it's a really powerful tool. So let me stop sharing here. And I'm back. And so I think it's quite a powerful tool that you may want to really consider for your business. If you're looking to save time, if you like to batch things, and I like to run my schedule, my system where I batch things, then I think this is a really good tool for you. So I would definitely check it out. So if you like the video, I'm sorry about the little glitch in the beginning. That was odd, but we got it working. If you like the video, go ahead and give me a thumbs up down in the bottom there. And if you feel free to follow this channel. I'm going to be posting other things that I hope will help you as far as your business, being able to leverage the social media stuff. I try to share the ideas and tools, things that I'm using, and that I think other businesses could benefit from. So, please follow, and we'll do this. If I have other sites to follow, come follow me on Facebook. It's another great place. So anyways, little bit about Tailwind. I hope you found this useful, and good luck with it. So give me a shout.